In July of 1518, a woman in France started dancing. She didn't stop. Not for food, not for sleep, not for days. Within a week, 34 more people joined her. Within a month, around 400 people. Some danced until their feet bled. Some danced until they collapsed and died. Doctors at the time had no explanation. Over 500 years later, we still don't fully agree on what caused it. This event is known today as the Dancing Plague of 1518. It happened in the city of Strasbourg in what is now France. It began with a single woman, known to history only as Frau Trophäa. She started dancing in the street for no apparent reason. City records describe her dancing continuously for nearly a week straight. Other people began joining her, not choosing to dance for fun. Witnesses describe them as looking tortured, in pain, unable to stop. Local authorities, confused and desperate, tried an unusual solution. They hired musicians, believing the dancers needed to dance the affliction out of their systems. It made things dramatically worse. The music seemingly encouraged even more people to start dancing uncontrollably. At its peak, historical records suggest around 400 people were affected. Some accounts describe people dancing for weeks, collapsing from sheer exhaustion. City officials eventually took the afflicted to a shrine, hoping for a religious cure. Slowly over time, the dancing stopped. Nobody is entirely sure why or how. And the strangest part? This wasn't even the first time something like this happened. Smaller dancing plagues had occurred in the same region for centuries before. So, what could actually cause hundreds of people to dance uncontrollably? The most famous theory involves a fungus called ergot. Ergot grows on rye grain in damp conditions and produces a chemical compound similar to LSD. If people ate bread made from contaminated grain, it could cause hallucinations and convulsions. It's a compelling theory, but it doesn't fully explain everything. Ergot poisoning typically causes painful muscle contractions, not coordinated, sustained dancing for days. Most historians today lean toward a different explanation: mass psychogenic illness. Essentially, an extreme stress response that can spread socially, especially in tightly connected communities. And 1518 in Strasbourg was an extremely stressful time. The region had just suffered famine, disease outbreaks, and brutal economic hardship. People genuinely believed they were cursed, specifically by a saint associated with dancing compulsions. Saint Vitus, whose feast day was closely tied to local folklore about dancing curses. Believing strongly enough in a curse like this may have triggered a genuine, involuntary physical response. The mind and body are more connected than we often assume, especially under extreme psychological stress. Once one person started in a community already primed for collective panic, it likely spread rapidly through observation and belief alone. Not a virus, not a toxin necessarily, just an extraordinarily powerful, contagious psychological event. Mass psychogenic illness isn't just a medieval curiosity. Similar events have been documented in modern times too, just on a smaller scale. Schools, factories, and tightly knit communities have all experienced documented psychogenic outbreaks, usually triggered by extreme stress, fear, or a perceived shared threat. Which means the dancing plague wasn't some bizarre, impossible medieval anomaly. It was an extreme example of something the human mind is still fully capable of today. Stress, fear, and belief have always had the power to physically manifest in our bodies. Strasbourg in 1518 just happened to be an extreme, very visible example of that power. A reminder that the line between mind and body is much thinner than most of us assume. Especially when an entire community believes the same terrifying thing at the exact same time. Hundreds of people, dancing for days, some until they died. Not from a virus, not from magic, from fear, stress, and belief, spreading exactly like a contagion, over 500 years later, and we're still trying to fully explain it. If you want more genuinely strange history explained clearly, subscribe. Next week, something exploded with the force of 1,000 atomic bombs and left no crater at all.